Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Love for Intuitive Astrology. So, for everyone who's new, my name is Michelle, and I'm an intuitive astrologer. And I combine my knowledge of astrology with my intuition, and this will be reflected in this video. So, today I'm going to talk about the upcoming month of July 2026. And I will start off with explaining this month in general, some important dates, the aspects, and then I'm going to dive into all the signs. So, most accurate is your rising sign or your ascendant. And for additional information, you can check your sun sign and your moon sign. And also, this is Western astrology. So let's have a look at this month of July. So we have now Jupiter in Leo, which went in the sign of Leo on the 30th of June. And I have a separate video which is going to explain this transit more in detail. But Leo rules the fifth house. So this is all about creativity, expansion, right? Because Jupiter is all about expansion of creativity. So now it is time to follow your passion. So if you have some sort of idea in this upcoming year, it's time to follow your heart without getting your ego involved, okay? Without the grandiose of the ego. And but in the month of July, we're going to be in Cancer season. So this is the time where your emotions are going to be your guide. So feeling the feelings are really important right now, right? Because Cancer rules the fourth house and is ruled by the moon. So it's a time to really self-reflect. We also have Mercury retrograde up until the 23rd of July. So maybe you feel more like spending time at home, reflecting back, maybe on the past with your family. Maybe in general, you're feeling more nostalgic and you want to go back to certain times, or something needs healing that is coming to the surface right now. So take that serious. Don't try to suppress your emotions right now. Push it away. We're going to have Cancer season up until the 22nd of July. So it's really important to connect with your roots. So that can be by connecting with family, going back to your birthplace, or simply spending time at home. Maybe you want to reorganize the home, clean your house, and that is going to help you get more clarity, right? More space in the home creates more space within yourself. And also, literally, the home is your body, your vessel. So, how can you take care of that? Okay. And because it's ruled by the moon, we can reconnect with our mother or our mother line. Even if they passed on, you can still do a little meditation and honor the mother line. Okay. If they did well or not, that doesn't matter. It's about honoring them for bringing you into this world. And any emotions regarding, the mother, or how you were nurtured, or how you want, how you're nurturing yourself. Now it's time to heal that, because very often how we were treated by our parents, sometimes that's how we're treating ourselves, or even worse. And we have to reconnect with ourselves and work on this self-love. So we are starting to treat ourselves a lot better. And when we do that, the people around us will reflect that. Okay. And the people who don't want to treat you well, they will automatically leave your life. So, or at least take a distance, which in some cases is better, right? Um, so yeah, we also this new moon, right? We also have a new moon in Cancer, which will happen on the 14th of July at 21 degrees. And this new moon is indeed all about what we talked about before. We also have Venus conjunct the South Node. So the sign of Virgo is the sixth house, house of service. This is about your health. And the South Node is the past, right? So some of you are going to pick up an old or a diet that you've done before. You're going to realize that maybe, you need to have a certain routine that used to work really well for you. You're going to pick that up again, or even a creative project. We also have Mercury retrograde. We have Venus with the South Node. So maybe you've worked on something before. Now with Jupiter and Leo, you're like, why am I not picking this project back up? Looking over it, see what we can adjust. So it's the perfect time to revise something you've done. Maybe sit still, look over it, and see what can be adjusted. Venus is also about love, so someone from the past might be coming back. Doesn't mean it's always something bad. Sometimes you just need some type of closure, and sometimes the book is reopened. Okay, it doesn't have to be something negative. And if it is something negative, it's just something that needs to close. So some lesson needs to be closed with that person so you can make space for the new, right? Retrograde's always about going inward. And if we always keep going straight without taking a break for ourselves, we don't have time to really see what's going on in the moment and to reflect. And it's often seen as something negative. And I think this is so untrue. I think the most beautiful things can exist when we just stop for a moment, when we take a break and we just look around and see, is this where I want to be? Is this what I would want for my life? Is this situation healthy? So I think the beginning of this month is very good for that. We have a full moon in Aquarius on the 29th of July, and this is going to be at 6 degrees and 30 minutes. Now here we have Jupiter with the sun, right? We're going to have that by the end of the month, which is going to be an amazing alignment, okay? This is very expensive. Mercury is already direct. So this is time for expansion, super expansion. So don't let things go to your ego. Put the energy from the head to the heart. This is the secret of Leo, okay? We have the moon in Aquarius. So Aquarius is about freedom. It's about equality. So here it's about not letting things get to you. We are all special in our own way. And with Pluto, with the moon, we are transforming certain emotions, okay? And maybe that's how you can work on a certain project. Maybe some uncomfortable emotions need to go somewhere. And maybe you're using your uncomfortable emotions or your past, right, to help others. So, if you're a motivational speaker, you can talk about the past, like what made you change things. So we all have, if you are, for example, doing art, you can make an exhibition of art representing certain emotions that you felt in your life. So now it's time to break free also from certain situations. And it's almost like you can't escape your emotions this month, okay? Because the moon is with Pluto and it's going to come out like a volcano, like breaking free from something, breaking free from a certain situation. Aquarius likes to be free, doesn't like to be, any unhealthy situations are going to be revealed right now, okay? Any uncomfortable situations. So we have the sun conjunct Jupiter, opposite Pluto. We talk about that. The moon is sextiling Neptune and the sun is trining Neptune, okay? Neptune is now retrograde. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, going over some aspects because Saturn is also going to station retrograde this month. But definitely like what we've talked about, turning your pain into art, into creativity, into a new business. So putting something into reality, okay? Maybe something you've buried very deep that you didn't think was important for you is going to come up, okay? So be okay with the uncomfortable because that's going to be the key to start something new. Sometimes we have to reach a certain point of, a cooking point with something, and then we're going to do it. Then we're going to step out of the comfort zone. Okay. So sometimes a negative situation can be turned into something positive, right? That's also, we have the moon trine Uranus. So breaking free from a certain situation. This full moon is squaring Chiron in Taurus. Chiron is now in Taurus, went in Taurus in June. So working on your self-worth. What is stopping you from doing something that you really want? Why do we have to punish ourselves doing something we don't like? You cannot change in one day, but you can do every day you can do a little bit to make a change. Like, what are you doing to make that small change and to get out of this comfort zone and to follow your passion and follow your heart? And Leo is very bold, so this is a great time to explore what it is that you truly want. We have Mercury squaring Saturn retrograde. Okay, we're going to have that for quite some time this month. Okay. And Mercury here now direct, but now Saturn is retrograde. So it's about reconnecting with yourself because we have Saturn in Aries. And when it's retrograde, we're going to introspect. We're going to look inward. And Mercury is now direct, okay, going slowly in this direct motion. So it's time to really see what it is that you truly want this month. And it might be uncomfortable, but big changes can happen from that. Big changes. Okay. So at the beginning of the month, we're going to have Mars conjunct Uranus. And I spoke about it a bit in June because that's when this conjunction is starting. It's going to be between the 1st and the 13th, but between the 1st and the 6th, it's definitely very, very intense. So think of Gemini, right? It's in Gemini. In the 3rd house, this is about transportation, communication. So when we have Mars, the planet of action, but also aggression, and we have Uranus, which is unpredictable. So unpredictable anger, okay? There are going to be some miscommunication, maybe that lead to anger. We have Mercury retrograde as well, ruling Gemini. So there could be some verbal fights with people, miscommunications, and watch out driving when you're angry, okay? This is very, very important that you ground yourself before you get into the car. If you're traveling, there might be some delays or some frustrations. Honestly, if you don't have to travel, I would not push it around this time. And if you need to travel, just make sure that you check everything, certain delays, certain situations, because it's a bit of a chaotic time. Okay. But in a positive sense, it's time to be bold. It's time to get out of a situation. It's going to be a very, very transformative month, the month of July. This is where changes are going to be made. So we're going to have Neptune stationing retrograde on the 6th of July in the sign of Aries. So we're going to look at our creativity, maybe our self-expression, or our identity. How do we want to express ourselves? Are we being true to ourselves? Okay. We're gonna look at that. We're gonna have, like I said, Mercury square Saturn. So first Mercury retrograde, and then we're gonna have Saturn retrograde. So communication is going to be a little wishy-washy. So with everything, take your time. If you have a communicative job, make sure that you check everything. Saturn likes preparation. So just make sure that you double check. If you have any contracts, triple check. Can't even pronounce it, you see. So especially up until the 23rd, this is very, very important. Jupiter conjunct the Sun. Sun is the natural ruler of Leo, so this is going to be a fantastic and very creative time. And Saturn is going to station retrograde. So on a global level, we're definitely going to work on ourselves. I don't know if some of you have felt the ascension symptoms. I'm going in and out of bliss. And then I'm feeling headaches and my body is acting strange. I'm very energetic and then I'm very tired. And I'm just really curious how you're all experiencing this, because I feel like things are going very fast right now. So July is going to be a very transformative month. I'm ready to start with all the signs. Let's start with the sign of Aries. So very positive. We have Jupiter in the fifth house, trining your ascendant or your sun and your moon. So this is a very uplifting time for you. And even though you have Saturn there in the first house, okay, if you feel like you want to go for a project, go for it, right? Some of you are going to expand the family, have children, pregnancy, and with that comes responsibility. So either it's a project, um, with Saturn in the first house, you're actually being able to carry it out. It's gonna help you be serious about commitment, maybe commitment in a relationship as well. So we have Cancer season. So that's going to be in your fourth house. And with this new moon in Cancer on the 14th of July at 21 degrees, you're going to focus on connecting with family. Maybe you're going to move back or visit family, okay, going back to your birthplace, reconnecting with family, but especially the mother, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So it's time to face your emotions, to look back at the past. What would you like to change? What would you like to change in your house? So restructure your home. Are you in the right place or would you like to move? So it's not yet a time for action. It's a time for reflection and thinking. So there's a definite feeling of nostalgia. It's also time to just enjoy yourself, but make sure to rest in between because, with the planets in the fourth house, you need to sometimes reconnect to your roots, go home, be in the home and just, nurture yourself, be sweet to yourself. We have Venus with the South Node in the sixth house. So some of you Aries you're gonna go back to a certain diet, okay, anything, because the South Node is related to the past, it's related to past lives. So any problems, health problems, maybe something you've had before could be coming back and you need to regain therefore a different routine and watch your health a little bit, okay? The North Node in the 12th house is letting you know to rest. So if you're working too much, the South Node in Virgo is going to tell you to take it easy and maybe do some meditation and reconnect with yourself, okay? Now, at the beginning of the month, we have this conjunction of Uranus and Mars up until the 13th, more or less. So be careful when you drive. Communication might be a little bit direct, especially for you in the workplace, okay? Because Uranus and Mars are going to be in a square with Venus and the South Node. So some karmic situations could be coming back with your colleagues, with your health. So be very gentle with yourself and don't overdo things. And think before you speak, because Mercury is also retrograde, adding to miscommunications this month. So we have this full moon in Aquarius on the 29th of July, which is going to be at 6 degrees in your 11th house. And Pluto, it's going to be in a conjunction with Pluto. So there will be a big transformation happening in your community, the way you see your friends, the way your friends see you. Maybe you're transforming so much, and with that transformation, and sometimes that can be very painful, right? But sometimes when we grow, we just don't align so much with your friends, with certain friends anymore. Doesn't mean that it has to be, it has to end. Sometimes it's just a break and you realign again at some point when you're in the same frequency again, okay? Or not. Maybe it's time to separate from a friendship, because Pluto is going to show everything that is hidden, and your moon is about your emotions, and Aquarius is definitely about breaking free. This sign does not like to be tied to anything, right? Likes to be detached, likes to connect with people, but not, doesn't like to be controlled at all. Just like you, Aries, you don't like to be controlled. You are, you want to be independent. First house energy. So Jupiter is going to be in a conjunction with the sun. So definitely fantastic time to work on creative projects. So if there's anything you want to do, social media, things like that, okay? Some of you are coming out with a certain story, maybe to your friends, something that happened to you and is going to be taken very, very well by your community, by, if it's on social media, they're going to take it very well. Or the message that you have is going to trigger people. Pluto likes to trigger, which in some cases is necessary because change only happens when we trigger sometimes. Not from a malicious place, right? We always try to be as connected to our hearts as possible, but sometimes the words you speak can trigger. So that comes from a natural flow. And if it triggers something in someone, that means they can now work on that. Depending on the awareness, of course. Mercury squares Saturn. Okay, for most of the month, we're going to have, especially the second part of the month, we're going to have this square. And this is all about preparing. So if you need to prepare something for work, and especially if you're dealing with housing situation, double check everything, double check your contracts. If you're talking with family, maybe you need to talk about responsibilities, dividing responsibilities, okay, of your family, of the home, and making sure that you don't have the miscommunication there, okay? Yeah, watch out for overspending during this full moon. My lovely Aries, let me get you a card. Okay, Oracle cards. Some of you are readers or you're doing cards for yourself and you're getting answers for yourself through that, okay? So the best thing to read cards is to meditate before, ask a question, and, it's not always about predictions. And I think that's such a misunderstanding about readings, that people always want to know the future, but sometimes we can change something in ourselves that can bring something, that makes space for something new. So sometimes it can be a beautiful thing to understand what it is that we have to change, right? Look at that spiritual teacher. So I'm talking to some people that are definitely on the spiritual path. And how can we heal ourselves? How can we ascend? How can we, you will see parts of the future through visions if that is what you need to see. And that comes when you clean up everything in your body, when you're making space, when you have a clean diet. And we don't have to go into extremes, right? We don't have to be super extreme. It's about a balanced lifestyle. I mean, you can eat a pizza sometimes or have a glass of wine. It's more about not going into extremes. And for many people, balanced life works best. Okay. It's the secret to everything, right? Yin and yang. Yin and yang. So a lot of you are working now on yourself, and it's gonna really unlock this creativity in you. Okay. So use the cards for yourself, and there's an artist. Okay. Maybe you like to paint. Fifth house is not always about doing something for a career. It can be, but it starts with something that you love to do. That's where it starts. And from there, maybe it grows into something more, but start with a hobby. Start with doing something that you like, drawing, or something that makes you truly happy. Leo loves to be happy. Okay, this energy of Leo, and Jupiter is now there in the fifth house, and it's going to help you really expand. So I think Aries, this year is going to be so much growth for you, because with Saturn in your sign, you're going to have the responsibility to actually make things happen. So take advantage of this amazing, amazing year. Neptune is retrograde by the end of the month, with Saturn also retrograde. So it's time for introspection, and massive spiritual growth can happen for you. So that would be my message for you, my lovely, lovely Aries. I took a break from readings in June, but I will be back in July if you're interested in that. And also to help me expand this channel, to support me, subscribe to it. Let me know in the comments what your plans are for July. I would love to hear from you. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Let's go to Taurus. Taurus, Sun, and Rising. First of all, we now have Jupiter. It went in the sign of Leo by the end of June, on the 30th of June, and now is in your fourth house. So it's already a time where you're probably thinking either about moving, or you're thinking about redecorating your house, revamping your place. We still have Mercury retrograde up until the 23rd of July. So if you want to move, just make sure that you double check your contract, that you read, that you're not falling for anything that is unclear. So definitely better to sign by the end of the month or August, okay? Beginning of August, because then we're going to go to eclipse season, which is not necessarily bad. It can make sudden changes, okay? But just make sure that you read in between the lines if you're doing any rebuilding in the house, have contractors, move homes. Cancer season in the third house for you is beautiful for taking a break, maybe a small trip, go to a river, go to the beach, look for water, and just contemplate. Maybe some of you just want to sit by the river and feel your emotions, reconnect with yourself. Maybe you want to write in your journal, write down your feelings to get a better understanding of what your internal world is trying to tell you. The third house is also about your siblings. So maybe some of your siblings you're going to have deep conversations with. So you reconnect with them and, maybe going back to the past, thinking things through, or going on a trip with them as well. Redoing an exam. So with Cancer there in the third house, is best to feel what you're learning, to understand it more in feelings. That's how you can remember things, because water holds memory. So this is how you can best remember things, okay? By feeling what you're studying. That's a little tip. We have Venus in a conjunction with the South Node in the fifth house. So for some of you, that could be that someone is coming back from the past, okay? Someone you've dated before, because fifth house is more about romance. And that doesn't mean that things cannot work out, okay? It could be that something is unresolved there. You have to talk about it. If you're already in a relationship, then it's a good time to verbalize what you need. Maybe you want to spend some time with your friends and you just need to talk about that. Going back to a hobby or a skill that you kind of left on the side, and you're going to go back to that, or an idea you've had before. A great time to maybe hang out with your kids and then with your friends, like be with the community, okay? Between the 1st and the 13th, we have Mars in a conjunction with Uranus. So be very aware with money and maybe some offers that seem a little strange or maybe too good to be true, that you really listen to your intuition about that, or don't do like big expenses between this time, because Uranus is very unpredictable and Mars can be impulsive. So there could be some impulsive spending. We have a full moon in Aquarius on the 29th, okay? Besides that, we have Neptune and Saturn both retrograde in the 12th house. So this is a very, very spiritual alignment. The moon in your 10th house, okay, at 6 degrees is in a conjunction with Pluto. So big transformations happening in your work. Maybe anything that you've been suppressing, things that you really wanted to do in life, like a certain path, a certain purpose that you wanted to follow. You kind of want to break free right now and follow this path. Some of you are going to actually move for it. Jupiter is the conjunct the sun, and you're going to make this move, this sudden, realization of it's now or never. I'm just going to do it. Any issues with the boss might be coming up, okay? because Pluto gives anything suppressed that is related to authority. So authority figures in general, government, anything that needs to be resolved is going to come up around this full moon in Aquarius. But definitely, this is also a time you find new ways on how to make money, maybe two sources of income. Uranus in the second house is very open, so it's not really good idea to hold too much onto money, but to let it flow, to let it come, let it go, but not being too impulsive at the beginning of the month, okay? Mercury square Saturn retrograde. Well, here we're going to have, maybe some unclear communication. There might be some ideas coming to you, like you're almost unsure where it came from. So listen to your intuition when it comes to ideas and prepare anything, communication wise, if that's what you need to do before you speak to someone. It could be with your siblings or just in general, your communication. Make sure you prepare before, okay? Chiron is now in your first house. So there some insecurities might come up with your looks, okay? It's time to find peace with who you are, what you look like. And, sometimes the most beautiful person can perceive themselves as not so pretty. So we first have to love ourselves on the inside, and the outside will change with that, okay? Because when you love yourself, you're going to eat better, you're going to work out, and you're going to treat your body like a temple. So let's get you a card. Spiritual teacher. I got the same for Aries. So I really feel like a lot of you are waking up to certain patterns within yourself, but also around you, there's more awareness. So there's more awareness of, things that are not going well or situations that are not well. And we need this awareness to make a change. Okay. So sometimes we have to be confronted with what doesn't work so we can change it towards something that does work, right? I'm getting sensitivity. So you're becoming more sensitive and you're starting to feel more. And that's why a lot of people are starting to have a more quiet life. We cannot handle in this higher vibration. It's very hard to handle many, many things. You have to take your time. Right? If we're in the 3D, we are able to do many, many things. But when the energies are going up, things are starting to slow down. You're really craving this peace. So it doesn't mean you're not going to work anymore. It's just you're working from a different energy. It's just different. So don't try so much to fit in if this is you that I'm talking to. But find a job or find a situation where you can take your time. And for example, in my situation, I prefer to work more hours and really take my time and really just have no stress and take it one step at a time. Okay. And then also, when you take your time, you don't have that much free time to spend it on many things, and you don't have that much stress, so you don't need that much money, right? So it's just a more simple way of life that will come if your frequencies are changing. So I know that some of you need to hear that, because rushing is not working anymore from a different vibration. So that's my message for you, my amazing Taurus. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to support my channel, subscribe to it, and also leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. What is going on for you? What are your plans for July? So thank you so much for being here, and until next time. So Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. First of all, we have Jupiter now in a sign of Leo, which happened on the 30th of June. And it's in your third house. So Gemini, your communicative skills are more captivating. Okay, because Leo is a very magnetic sign, right? Ruled by the sun. So now it's time to really, draw people in with your communicative skills, especially If you're in a job like sales, you're going to do very well. Or if you're speaking in public, or if you're a writer, creative writer, this is a fantastic time. I do have to say that this month still, you're not going to feel it 100% because we're going to have Mercury retrograde up until the 23rd of July. When it's stationing direct. And also at the beginning of the month, we have Uranus and Mars in the first house. So be careful with harsh speech. Even though you see the truth of a situation, and I know it's very difficult sometimes to not say anything when you feel something is off, but think before you speak at the beginning of the month. Okay, so that's the only thing. But by the end of the month, your voice is going to be more and more captivating, because when a planet is transiting in a new sign, it needs some time to settle, right? It's not going to be right away. Sometimes it just needs to settle. Also, watch out where you step, because you're an air sign and we have Uranus and Mars. So you want to maybe do more sports, but this can lead to injuries if you're not in your body. So if you do sports, make sure you're in your body before you make certain steps. Okay. Yeah, so we're starting off with Cancer in Cancer, right? Cancer season. We have this new moon in Cancer on the 14th of July at 21 degrees in your second house. So this is related to your money, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So how do you feel about money? We have Mercury retrograde. So looking at your budget, what is your budget? How much money do you have? How much money are you spending? You could definitely earn money maybe with a previous client, or working back for a client you worked. Is that even a sentence? A client you worked with before? Yeah. It's time to maybe also clean up the home. We have Virgo in the fourth house in a conjunction with Venus. So it's about cleaning up your space. So you will have an easier time to work. Even if you're going to work, coming home to a clean house is going to open up your mind. Some of you are moving back to a place you have been before, you lived before, going back to old company. Okay, this is a month, especially up until like the, let's say, 23rd. It's really a reflective month. We also have Saturn going retrograde and Neptune this month in the 11th house. So a lot of introspection also about who you are, who your friends are, how you relate to them. We have this full moon in Aquarius on the 29th of July at 6 degrees in your ninth house. So you're being triggered in your belief systems. You're going to maybe change the way you look at the world. Maybe you're starting to doubt your teachers. Okay, because ninth house is about your teachers. So can be normal, your school teachers. It can be your spiritual teacher. It can be religion, or what you believe in might change. With Pluto and the moon, you want to break free of a certain situation, even through a trip or traveling, right? Because we have the sun and Jupiter there in an opposition. So this is really a lot of wisdom might come to you, which will change the way you see the world. So big transformations can happen this month. Like, I think there will be so much transformation, which will help people with their creativity, right? With the sun and Jupiter, maybe you're going to write about your experience. Maybe you want to share it with other people. Yeah, you're going to be rebellious as well, Gemini. You have Uranus in the first house, right? And the moon is trining Uranus. So there's definitely this breaking free moment, and let yourself be guided to the path that you want to go to. Because if you're going to cage yourself right now, you're in a time where you want to try maybe different paths, where you're exploring different areas in your life. And people are always going to judge, right? Anyways, whatever you choose, some people agree, some people don't agree, which is fine. And people see you from their life experience and what they know. Okay, so not always someone else's opinion is correct. If many people are going to say the same thing, then maybe we can think about it. But we first have to listen to our own intuition and reconnect with ourselves. So let me get you a card. Yeah, Chiron went into the 12th house. So massive spiritual growth. I'm getting this with every sign. I feel like this month is going to be so transformative. Spiritual teacher. I'm getting the same thing. So you're in this massive shift of your belief system, energy healing. So you might be an energy healer, or literally you are changing your energies within. Because a lot of times, and I said that before, that people want to know the future, but we cannot build this new future if we don't change anything within ourselves. If we work on our patterns, if we work on, being in the moment, being in the flow, then things can come to you a lot easier. Energy is all around us. Environmentalists, like some of you literally work with nature, with animals, but in general, it's also just telling you that it's good to go to the forest, go into the nature, reconnect with yourself. So, you will have that desired future. So question things, Gemini. Questioning is good. Even sometimes a healthy sense of pessimism is good because you will do your research. We have to have questions to awaken. So that's a good thing. Yeah, so that would be my message for you, my amazing Gemini. I would love to hear from you in the comments, what you're going through, what is the path that you're on. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you support my channel and help me spread the message. So thank you so much for being here. And until next time, let's move on to Cancer. So my Cancer sunshines, happy birthday if your birthday is in this month of July. I hope you're going to have an amazing time. We're going to, now have Jupiter in Leo, and that happened since the 30th of June, and it went out of the first house, okay, which created this expansion, this wisdom, clarity into your life, and now it's going into the second house, okay, and this will expand money, especially Cancer rising. You're gonna see new ways of making money. Now Leo is very generous, so maybe you're spending more as well, but in general creative projects might make more money. Maybe you're getting a raise or you're getting a new job that is offering you a little more, but with Saturn in the 10th house, it does mean that a bit more responsibility might come with that, okay? So we have this new moon at 21 degrees. So if you have your sun, moon, or rising around 21 degrees, you're going to be highly impacted by this new moon. We also have Mercury retrograde. So you're going to feel that a little bit, okay? Because you're ruled by the moon, which is emotions. It's not so much logic. And that doesn't mean that Cancers are not intellectual. I think that's a huge misunderstanding, because but you need to feel what you're saying, especially if you have that in your natal chart as well. If your Mercury is, in Cancer also, you have to really feel and connect with what you're saying. You might be feeling very nostalgic, going back to the past. Who were you before? Who are you now? Who do you want to be? Connect to those emotions, okay? Because it's going to guide you in a direction that maybe is better for you. Maybe you need to face some old emotions so you can actually let them go, send them away. We have up until the 13th of July, we have Uranus in a conjunction with Mars. So some suppressed, because it's in the 12th house, so it's locked. So you might be feeling a bit frustrated and you don't know why. Like, where is it coming from? These are, your unconscious and subconscious feelings that are coming to the surface. So you can access that through meditation. Sometimes it's even past life related, okay? It could even be because it's the house of hidden enemies. So someone might come at you and you have no idea, okay? Sometimes that happens, but stay strong. Your self-worth is big right now with Jupiter in the second house. So let it be what it is. Give their anger back to them and keep your head up high, okay? We have the South Node conjunct Venus in Virgo. So maybe you have to resit an exam, but with Venus, that is quite positive. Uranus, Mars there in the 12th house can give you a bit of restless nights. So meditation, journaling is very good. Maybe do some slow workouts before you go to bed. Otherwise, it might keep you up at night. You're even studying, right? Maybe you have to study a lot and it's keeping you up. Going back, going to a sibling, maybe you want to visit a sibling or going with them on a day trip or a holiday. And also reflecting on love mentally, thinking about what suits you, what's your love language, what would you like in a relationship. I've seen that many times when I do a reading that someone is asking about love, and I ask, do you know what you like in love? Do you know what is suiting for you? Because sometimes when we are not connected to our true self, it's hard to find this match, right? I always mismatched with people in the past because I was a mismatch with myself. I was not honest about what I liked, what I wanted. With work, like I was trying to fit in a society that was not me, but I thought it would be impossible to find someone that was going to be interested in the same things. And then I realized how stupid is that we're trying to be something that we're not in order to attract something we want. It makes no sense because these people are going to be attracted to the version of you that's not you. And that's very not sustainable on the long term, right? We have a full moon in Aquarius on the 29th of July, and it's going to be in the 8th house. So it's very transformative time for you. Maybe you're doing some research in investments. There could definitely be more money coming in, right? Because Jupiter is with Sun, so maybe you're looking into investments, but don't fall for money scams because Pluto can be a little tricky with that. Aquarius about friendships. So maybe friendships, you're going to see it in a different way. You're going to go really deep into, maybe in the occult, or you're looking at where you want to break free from. Okay, maybe there's a repetition with friendships that kept happening, or maybe a friend is helping you with this transformation. This is really, really good for research. So if you have research-based work, that could give you a lot of money right now. Maybe you're discovering something taboo, even, or something that people haven't looked at yet, and you are the first one to discover that. So it's a great time for research, and that can definitely bring you money. So we have Chiron right there in the 11th house. So again, we have this transformation of friendships, and maybe it's wise to not really share too much about how much you're earning. I really don't like that we are in a world where sometimes we cannot share everything. But yeah, sometimes it's better to keep something to yourself until something is really finalized, especially with Chiron there in the 11th house, because sometimes when people feel like, oh, this person has money, they feel like you have to pay for everything. And I feel that when people ask, it's not the same as when someone is offering. Like if you want to offer, I feel that that's more natural. Okay, Cancer, school. So maybe you are studying something new, going back to school, or just reading something that is going to give you more ideas. Maybe you're looking into trading or doing anything money related, accountancy. Look at that, practice. So practice this skill. Practice it daily or regularly, so you become better at something, right? Some people get success overnight, but others, we need to be good at something first. We need to become an expert at something. Environmentalist, so it's time to connect with nature, and that's going to help you connect to yourself. Yeah, going back to the land, maybe putting your feet in the grass. So yeah, that would be my message for you, my amazing Cancer. Please let me know in the comments, what are your plans? What are you experiencing right now? Are you going through any realizations, any transformation? Also, subscribe to my channel if you want to help me expand this channel. Yeah, so I wish you all the best. And until next time, let's move on to Leo. So Leo, Sun and Rising. First of all, we have this Jupiter now in your sign from the 30th of June. And now it's going to expand in July. And especially by the end of July, when your season is starting, it's going to be in a conjunction with Jupiter. So your energy is going to be big because the lion is already having his manes, especially Leo rising. A lot of Leo rising have beautiful hair, beautiful hair. It's gonna really put you in the picture, so to speak, okay? Because Leos are already quite noticed, but you're gonna be extra large energy, especially by the end of this month. When Jupiter goes in the first house, sometimes a new path will become more clear for you. And what I want to express, because a lot of times people get disappointed because Jupiter's luck, right? It's also fluffy and amazing, and sometimes we have to expand. We have to, one thing is leaving to make space for something new, right? It's not all perfect lovey-dovey. Sometimes something has to go, so something better is coming. This is also what Jupiter does. It expands things. It's gonna give you the wisdom and the faith to keep going. So if there is an urge and this craving to follow something that you're very passionate about, now is the time to do that, okay? It's really the time to do that. Between the 1st and the 13th of July, there will be a conjunction between Mars and Uranus in the 11th house. So there might be some miscommunication with friends. You know, the ruler of Gemini is retrograde in the 12th house. So yeah, miscommunication with friends, maybe a little bit of anger with them. It's a bit of an impulsive energy, so be very careful also if you're on social media that you're not going to say, you know, something, blurring something out and then regretting it later, okay? That's the only thing. So between the 1st and the 13th, there's just a little bit of an exclamation mark with that. Or it could just trigger people a lot. We have a new moon in Cancer on the 14th of July. So this is time to rest, introspect. Where do you want to go? What is this year gonna be for you? So you can swim, relax, journal, pamper yourself, you know, spend the time by water, by the beach. And that's going to give you a lot more ideas on what you would like to do, okay? Because give Jupiter time to expand. So Venus is conjunct the South Node in the 2nd house. So maybe you're earning money through a previous client or previous company. Yeah, or a creative project. Suddenly money is coming in through that, okay? You're looking at your self-worth, like, can you revamp your self-worth? Because Jupiter is making you more confident, more secure within yourself. And with the South Node there, you could even be wanting to sell things, give, you know, clothes away, give things away. Which sometimes is very nice because that means there is space for new things to come. So we have this full moon in Aquarius on the 29th of July. And like I said, here we have this conjunction of the sun in a conjunction with Jupiter in the 1st house. So your energy is big, magnetic, and you're going to definitely draw a lot of opportunities and people to you. Now, we do have the seventh house moon in Aquarius with Pluto. So there might be some difficulty with a business partner, or maybe your current partner that, is struggling a little bit because your energies are big. You're maybe getting a lot of attention, and it could be falling a bit harder on your partner. Okay, so in the negative sense, it could be a bit of jealousy or possession, or maybe even a split. But in the positive sense, right, like a strong relationship Pluto will do nothing to, because Pluto will just reveal what is suppressed, what is in the underworld. So if your relationship is strong, you don't need to worry. That's with anything, with Venus retrograde, Saturn. Your relationship will survive anything because there is nothing to reveal. But if you're in a relationship where things are hidden, where things need to come to the surface, then yes, that's the time when it comes to the surface. So around this time, you will see maybe that some transformation need to happen. So you either grow closer to each other, or you need something resolved. Same with a business partner, or even if you're working with clients one-on-one, okay? Because your big energy might be a little bit triggering, or sometimes people try to control you, right? I think a lot of Leos suffer from that. If you have a lot of planets in Leo, that people find your energy so big that they feel like intimidated, or they're trying to control the energy. And this is not what the sun needs, right? So a high vibrational Leo is a sunshine, smiley, sunshine, passion, and you are the motivator for other people to also change. Okay, the negative side would be sun could go to the ego, so that would be the trap that could happen. But I know a lot of who are watching, you are on the spiritual path, so I'm not super worried about that. So it's a fantastic time for something new. We have Saturn and Neptune in the ninth house. So a lot of you are questioning your belief systems, and a healthy sense of questioning is very, very good, actually. We should question everything. We should have questions. If we don't have questions, we're becoming too comfortable, too much in our comfort zone. So I believe questions are very good. People should question everything. People should question me. People should question things, right? Because that makes us independent thinkers. Okay, and independent thinkers is what I want to create with this channel. So I encourage people to become independent. And I've had that with clients. I really send clients away. Some that are watching know that when you're booking too often, you're becoming too attached to me. And that's not good for your spiritual growth. So I'm happy to be the bad guy and, say that you can do it yourself. You can, people underestimate their inner power, what they are capable of. Okay, what is you're capable of? It's like thinking that someone else knows better. No, actually, it doesn't work that way. But we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe that our intuition can give us so much information, right? I'm simply the guide to help you understand what you need to do. Okay. So let's see that. Music. Some of you are artists. Great time if you're an artist. Musician, any type of artist. Okay. And listen more to music, especially there's this healing music. And I'm starting to listen more to people with instruments on YouTube, or people that are very passionate, and I don't know, they create music from a different place, and you can literally feel that it heals your energy. Okay, family. So it's time to reconnect with family. Also pregnancy, right? Because Leo is the sign of the fifth house. So some of you want to start your own family or expand your family. Look at that. We have crystals. So maybe you want to wear like a gemstone, like a necklace. I'm seeing this necklace. Or you want to have a ring. Just make sure that if you have jewelry, that it touches your skin. And it's always fun to go to a shop and then pick a jewelry and then look the meaning up later, because it's always resonating. Like everything is just perfectly aligned in life. And sometimes we don't even see how things are just going exactly as they should go. It's like ridiculous, but it's amazing at the same time. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Leos. I'm wishing you all the best. Happy birthday to my sunshine Leos. If that's in July, I hope you have a fantastic time. What a beautiful year to, you know, to have your solar return with Jupiter and the sun. Amazing. So let me know in the comments, what are your plans for this year, my lovely, lovely Leos. Um, yeah, and subscribe to my channel to help me expand it, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Let's go to Virgo. So Virgo, Sun and Rising. We now have Jupiter in your 12th house, went into the sign of Leo on the 30th of June. Time for relaxation, time for creativity behind the scenes. Maybe you're working on something and you're not telling anyone, okay? Maybe you're doing something for yourself, taking some time off to relax this year, okay? Because you've had a lot of time, a lot of work, maybe, a lot of meeting up with friends. A lot of the energy was going outwards. So now part of your energy is also going inwards, okay? Beautiful time for meditation. To do any type of yoga or tai chi, energetic sports, right? It's in a fire sign. Um, you're preparing for when Jupiter goes in your sign. So do some introspection, and that works very well with this transformative month of July. We have this new moon in Cancer on the 14th of July in the 11th house, and Mercury is retrograde. So it might be nostalgia with your friends. Maybe your family is like your friend, right? And you're going back into the past, talking about things that happened before. There might be a little miscommunication because it is in a square with Saturn. Saturn is in the eighth. So maybe you have a hard time really expressing exactly what you're feeling sometimes. And that leads to a bit of misunderstandings with your friends. And also not the best time to share your secrets yet. Keep them to yourself. Okay. We have the South Node. And especially if you're an early degree, someone in rising, the South Node is really taking off certain patterns that are no longer serving you. So you're being stripped off from a lot of things, maybe self-criticism, because a lot of Virgos can be so critical of themselves. And it's time to find self-love. So Venus is there with the South Node. How can you love yourself more? What belief systems are you ready to let go of? And the North Node can bring in this new relationship then. So sometimes we think we have to be a certain way to attract what we want. Okay, people only like us if we're skinny. People only like us if we are smart. People will only like us if we're, if my ears are smaller. But it's not like that, right? It's about first loving yourself, and then the rest will come with that, right? Your body will start to change because people who love themselves, they eat like they love themselves. They treat themselves like they love themselves. And you will start to be more magnetic. You will start to be more glowy. And this is what's happening. So go into this uncomfortable, reflect. That's going to help you get a lot of answers for yourself. We have Mars in a conjunction with Uranus up until the 13th. So be a little careful with impulsive decisions regarding work, because some of you Virgos want to quit your job and you might regret it later. So think about it, okay? Because work can get a little heated. If you could take some time off or be a bit more in the background, that will be very helpful. Trouble with authority or bosses could be there. Government, things you need to resolve. Things that happened in the past that are kind of come back or are dropped onto you to resolve. So just make sure that stay calm, is hard sometimes, right? But sometimes we have to. Full moon in Aquarius on the 29th of July. We have the sun with Jupiter and it's in the 12th house. Okay, so this is a very expensive energy, but it's hidden in the 12th house. So definitely spend some time alone because your brilliance is coming when you're spending it by yourself in solitude. This is the best thing to do. You can really channel information right now. So if you're a channeler, or you can start to channel. Some people make the most beautiful art. They are somehow channeling it. It's almost like it's coming from a different universe, right? We have Pluto and the moon in the 6th house. So breaking free again, work might be a little confrontating this month. Maybe you want to change it. Some of you are leaving, okay? And others, you need to work on how to change things. And you will get answers when you're spending time alone. It's also a time to change your habits, your diet, your routines. So anything related to health will be coming up and will show you what needs change. Okay, so go to a doctor if you really need that. Do a checkup. I'm not against science. I'm all for natural healing in combination with science. And I really hope there's going to be a day that we can combine both for optimal healing. But yeah, you want to break free from something. Maybe you want to be self-employed or you're thinking about being self-employed. With Jupiter in the 1st house, that is going to, work on something behind the scenes. So when Jupiter goes in your sign next year, you are very prepared. So what do we have? Time to decide. So some of you need to make a certain decision. And I always say, if you doubt, it's a no. And if you know, because when you know, you know. It's like this inner urge that you have to do something. You don't know why, but you have to do it. Listen to that. We have crystals. So it's time maybe to have some crystals. Maybe you want to have a necklace or like a ring, and it has to touch the skin, or just have like crystals on your desk. Depending where your desk is. Maybe it's in a busy office, but you can still have one gemstone. Okay, books. Some of you will read some books that are going to help you, that are going to give you more clarity, maybe some self-help books. Maybe you just want to reconnect with yourself and just do something that makes you relax in the moment, okay? Like maybe some of you want to write something behind the scenes, want to work on something. Maybe you want a story to be told. Yeah. Maybe you just want to journal and reflect on your life. Okay, so that would be my message for you, my amazing Virgo. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear what your plans are for this month, how this resonates with you, and also help me expand my channel by subscribing to it. So thank you so much, Virgo. And until next time, let's go to Libra. So Libra, Sun and Rising. For you, we have Leo now in your 11th house. So it's time to really have fun. Time to have fun. Connect with your friends. Maybe you want to, do a lot of networking right now. Networking is going to be fantastic. We still have some retrogrades. We have, Mercury is retrograde up until the 23rd. So it will be now maybe reconnecting with people from the past. Okay, people you've worked with before, a company you've worked with before. Maybe you're going back to that company or that client. Okay. Yeah, and at the beginning of the month, we have Uranus in a conjunction with Mars in the 9th house. Now, this is a bit impulsive energy, okay? And Gemini is transportation. So if you can stay home and not travel, I would definitely recommend it. If you have to travel, ground yourself. Check up everything, where you're going, the situation. Just, I don't like to do any fear mongering, but, check things out, where you're going, your schedules and things like that. Okay, you might also have some disagreements with a teacher, someone that you're doing any training with, that you might not agree with what they say, which is okay. Like, we should challenge our teachers, we should challenge ourselves sometimes. So in general, there are a little bit of miscommunication, but that by the end of the month will definitely change. This is the month of transformation. Yeah, we have this new moon in Cancer on the 14th of July. So, like I said, going back to a job, maybe you want to work from home. Okay, some of you working from home. You need to revise your work as well, going over it, seeing if you can change something. Good time, if you're in the food industry, like, look at the menu. What can you change? How can you present the foods better, for example? Okay, if you've written something, just go over it. If you're in real estate, it's a great time to readjust, see what the house needs to make it even better. Okay, so it's squaring Saturn, so it's not a great time for starting new business partnerships. So do your networking. It's gonna be even better by the end of the month. It's gonna be much better, actually. So Venus is conjunct the South Node in Virgo in the 12th house. So past life connections could be coming back. We have the house of past lives, the 12th house. This is where we close everything, right? So it makes sense that here we rest. Here we sit still. Here we have time to reconnect to ourselves, our spiritual selves. So anything regarding like self-love, or maybe we have neglected our bodies, so we have to come back to that. Past life connections coming back. Okay, and sometimes it doesn't mean that doesn't work out, right? It can even be talents can be unlocked right now and come back to you, like certain memories of a talent. Like, there are people that do a completely different business and then they start to try something and they're really good at it. So things like that might come up. So issues regarding love and self-love, the person that might come in your life will show you this exact situation. So we have a full moon in Aquarius. So this full moon is going to be in the 5th house. So there will be a lot of transformation regarding love, okay? How you see love, what is important to you. And I said it with another sign. I don't remember which sign I explained this, but people don't ever have to be anxious about a good relationship, because Pluto is just revealing what is in the underworld. Same with Saturn in the 7th house. So if you have a strong relationship, nothing will happen. It will actually grow closer, okay? Because Saturn is commitment. It will be retrograde. Neptune will be retrograde. Pluto is retrograde. It will just show you and reveal to you what is not working. But if you're in a good relationship, there is nothing to reveal. So you don't have to worry. Okay. So in situation where something is to be revealed, that will come to the surface this month in business partnerships and relationships. Secrets regarding your children, maybe they've done something and that's going to come up. But definitely you are triggering yourself for creative expression. Like, what is holding you back? Jupiter and the Sun are in your 11th house. Fantastic time to expose a talent. Maybe you're a good singer, a good dancer. Leo is very expressive. This is such a good time to show more of yourself. So whatever it is that you want to show to the world, now is the time to do so, okay? Uranus is in the 9th house. So maybe you're very curious about numerology, human design, and you're either going to teach that, or you're going to use that for self-knowledge, right? Astrology. I do give classes in astrology, so if you would be interested in that, come by the end of the month, because the beginning is Uranus, Mars. It's not a great time to start. But yeah, I do give also classes to become an astrologer and an intuitive. So yeah, let me get you a card, Libra. Great time for you. Such a good time. Really, you can draw in a lot of people. Okay, if you're on social media, for example. Okay, what do we have here? Talk to your angels. So you're going to get some messages this month. Listen to your intuition. Like, people think you have to be an intuitive to get messages, but it's just really a gut feeling. And a lot of people have that. It's just that you can decide to ignore it and to accept it. Okay. We have crystals. So, um, connecting with crystals, maybe you can charge them in the moonlight, in and recharge your jewelry. Maybe you can get a ring or a necklace or like earrings. And I get like authors. So maybe some of you are writers, content writers, authors. Um, Maybe you want a story to be told, could be verbally as well, that you're going to express your story on social media, which is going to inspire a lot of people. I'm getting body work. Some of you need a massage, or you're doing any type of energy healing. Make sure if you do energy healing that you always disconnect. You know, any type of work that you are close with clients, even if you're a hairdresser, you have to, at the end of the day, cut the cords, right? People underestimate, but a hairdresser is almost like a social worker or someone who works in beauty. They always listen to conversations of people, and they are counselors as well. Okay, so in many jobs we are connecting with people, and those are the places where people can relax, and you know, they maybe feel safe to tell their story. I'm pretty sure that people who work in the beauty industry, they have so many stories to tell. I'd be extremely curious to hear that. So let me know in the comments if you have any stories. I would love to hear that. But yeah, that would be my message for you, my amazing Libra. I wish you all the best, and until next time. So, Scorpio, Sun and Rising, Jupiter now is in your 10th house, so it's time for your career to take off. So, any urge that you have, you want to start your own business, okay? Wait a little bit before launching the business until end of the month, okay? Because we still have Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Um, but in general, this is going to be the best year for your career. Okay, so go for that new job. This is especially for Scorpio rising. Okay, best time to start something new. We have a new moon in the sign of Cancer, which is in a beautiful trine with your ascendant or your sun and your moon, especially if it's around 21 degrees. So this new moon is in a conjunction with Mercury. So maybe you're traveling back to a place you've been before, spending time by the beach, by a river, you know, having this nostalgia maybe to a place you've traveled or lived before. Okay. Moving abroad to a place you've lived before as well. This can all happen during this time. Your emotions are your guide. So you will have this intuitive urge, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, to go somewhere. Okay. Going over a study or teaching that you have studied before, but sometimes we need a bit of a reminder, right? We need to be remembering what we've learned, and water is memory. So you will remember better what you're studying, what you're learning, when you really feel what is written. Okay. So if you're probably studying something that you're not really interested in, then it's going to be a lot harder to remember it. We also have between the 1st and the 13th of July this conjunction between Uranus and Mars, which is quite intense. It's in the 8th house. So there might be some anger towards maybe an organization like insurance, or, accountant, or third party situation, inheritance. There could be some difficulty with an inheritance as well. And it's important that you also ground yourself, okay? Because it's a very injury prone time. So be very careful. It's not the best time to do any skydiving or like rock climbing, things like that, between the 1st and the 13th. Like take it easy if that's something you like to do, okay? So Venus is conjunct the South Node around this new moon, and the South Node is in the 11th house. So it could be that some friends are coming back from the past. We have Venus there with the South Node. Some friends, you might actually detach from. Okay, they will leave your life. Some friends are coming back. But with the North Node in the fifth house, you just really feel like focusing on your creativity. So maybe the detachment is like pulling in people. Like people are wondering what Scorpio is doing. Like, where are you? What are you working on? Where are you traveling to? What you're doing for work? So, um, yeah, maybe because you don't want to be really in the public, like people have become very curious about you. We have a full moon in Aquarius on the 29th of July at 6 degrees 30 minutes, and it will be in your fourth house. So there will be a massive transformation happening with your family. Especially, if you have like between 0 and 6 degrees, someone arising, it's going to be in a square with Pluto. So there's this family transformation going on, that maybe you are now, if you're working with the best version of Pluto, you are transforming patterns and turning them into the light. Okay. So empowering a difficult situation and turning it into something good. And Jupiter is conjunct the sun. So your career, Scorpio rising, is going to be amazing. And that could, in some way, transform your family, right? Maybe they feel a bit of jealousy. Maybe they're feeling uncomfortable with that. Maybe you're going out of the comfort zone. And sometimes it's best to leave their perspective with them, right? Maybe you're doing something that's shocking them a little bit. Because we're talking about Aquarius. It could be a bit of a shock. Like, why this type of career? Or what are you doing? So it's their perspective and it changes them as well, right? We shouldn't be angry. We should let them have those feelings. Don't be influenced. If you feel very strongly towards a career, then go for that and it will transform them eventually, right? Like, oh, Scorpio is doing what they want. They are chasing their dreams. I can do the same. Like, first, maybe there will be like envy, but then there will be like, oh, I could do the same, actually, right? And if people want to stay in this uncomfortable feelings, that's also uh, their decision, right? So a lot of transformation also in the home. Maybe you have a clearer vision of where you would like to live. Some of you would like to live in a community or, in a more unconventional family situation. Maybe you're starting a different type of family and everybody's looking at you like, why are you doing it that way? Okay. So we have Chiron now in the seventh house. So this is the wounded healer, right? Doesn't mean that it's gonna impact your relationship per se. And it's also squaring Pluto. So it's more about, don't try to save your partner if your partner is upset with your family or you're upset with yours. That it's time for healing self-worth as well, like healing your security to attract the right person. Okay, not the best time, I would say, to have a business partnership. It might be okay-ish. It's better to go for yourself right now, right? We have Leo. Leo is really good leading or working on by themselves or working on something creative. So the best year for your career for sure. Let me get you a card, Scorpio. What do we have? Sacral chakra. So creativity is, you're going to be so magnetic, passion ignited. Follow your passion, Scorpio. Lot of transformation this month of July, but it's triggering you to do the thing that you're exactly supposed to do. Look at that positive movement forward. Now's the time to do it. Go for it. Deception and envy, like I said, sometimes when things are going well for you, and it really hurts me as well sometimes, right? When I see that people, oh, you're so lucky, or there is some type, I feel we should support each other. This is so important because if someone else can do it, then I can do it. Like, we can all lift each other up, and we are not the same if we're connected to our authentic self. It's no competition. Even if you're in the same industry, there is no competition, right? Like, why should there be any competition? Like, with my astrology students, I want them to be better than me. I don't care. We need more astrologers. We need more of everything. And they're not going to be like me. They're going to figure out their own style. And I really help everyone to figure out what suits them, what is good for them. And even with my clients, I encourage them, like, yeah, but there are so many this and so many that. Yeah, of course, we are so many people on the planet. So we will have more singers. We will have more of something. But first of all, you have to do something that you love. So start as a hobby. In some cases, it will stay a hobby, but that's fine. You have to do something that you are happy about, that you are interested in. Why not try it? Do it on the side and see how it goes. Like, you don't have to. Why do we always need so much fame, right? It's more about the internal happiness that counts. And this is what you're going to do, Scorpio. You're going to shine from inside out, and that's going to create so many beautiful opportunities for you. With Saturn in the sixth house, though, watch your health a little bit and have a good routine. Okay, wake up every day, do something. Even if you don't feel like it, do a small thing. You don't have to work like a lot, but it's gonna help you. So that's my message for you. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear from you in the comments, your experiences, your plans for your career, and also subscribe to my channel. And anyways, I'll meet you next time. Thank you so much. Let's go to Sagittarius. So wonderful. Jupiter now is in Leo in your ninth house. It's making a trine to your ascendant. So what a beautiful alignment that is. Great for traveling, studying, curiosity, fun, freedom. Now is the time to do that. Okay. We are in Cancer season in July. Okay, it's in the eighth house. So before you're gonna expand, maybe something will happen to trigger that change. Because people always say Jupiter is luck. No, Jupiter is also expansion. It's faith. So sometimes something has to trigger for you to take that trip or to go out of your comfort zone. Okay. So July is kind of this transformative month. We have Mercury retrograde. So it's not a great time to invest. Maybe in a house that, maybe in a house that you kind of left or that you really wanted before, that could be, or if you already have Mercury retrograde in your chart. But overall, it's not the best time now to sign any contracts for a house. If you can wait a little bit longer until the end of the month, that would be a little bit better. But you could be earning money through a property, though, that you've sold or a while ago. Okay, like money could be coming in around this time. Like, look at your paperwork as well. I know it sounds very boring, but look at your paperwork, your taxes, your insurance, and things like that. The South Node is in a conjunction with Venus in the 10th house. So going back to a previous boss, hearing from a previous client or company, and it's up to you if you're gonna work with them again. Sometimes it can actually be start of something good or something new. Maybe you're gonna work for them in this time remote, because the North Node is in the 4th house. So a lot of you want to work more remotely if that's possible. Sometimes it's just to have a closure in a certain situation. Okay, just be careful with like office affairs, things like that. When you don't want attention or respect in the workplace, it's actually gonna come. When you're like detached from achievement and things like that, it's coming. This is what the South Node and Venus is all about. Okay. And having this in my chart, I have that in the 9th house. Venus is with the South Node and Jupiter, and I have to be completely detached from any type of, there will be no clause with this alignment unless you really just let go and you do your creativity, live in the moment, do the things that you love to do. Okay, this is the secret of this placement. So, full moon in Aquarius, which will happen on the 29th of July, 2026 at 6 degrees in your 3rd house. So again, a great time to travel, but we have Pluto in the 3rd house. So it could be that there will be some transformation happening or uncomfortable situations, some hiccups in the journey that will give you a new perspective. Or maybe something is canceled and then something better is coming. Okay. So it's almost like something has to be triggered for something more upgraded is coming your way. Okay. Maybe your study is canceled and you found a different study that is better suiting for you. Okay. So don't be disappointed. In this case, it's actually going to be a lot better. Also, you might be, if you're doing any type of research, this is a fantastic time. You might be really into like reading into something and you can't stop. So know when to stop reading because it might impact your sleep. But this is really a time for hyper focus. I forgot to tell you, but we have Mars in a conjunction with Uranus between the 1st and the 13th of July. Okay. And this could impact your relationship. So be calm with your partner. If you're married or in a committed relationship, there could be some triggers coming up, some anger or disagreements. And we also have Mercury retrograde up until the 23rd of July, right? So there will be some disagreements there. Yeah, let each other be this month, at least up until the 23rd. Yeah, let each other be, but especially up until the 13th, because there might be some little conflict happening, especially if you're Sagittarius rising. Okay. Yeah, Mercury is square Saturn, so child custody things might be coming to the surface. If you're doing any type of research regarding investments, you have to prepare. You have to choose long-term investments. Okay, Saturn is retrograde now. We have Neptune retrograde. So do your research. But yeah, in terms of traveling, good time. Writing, research, creative projects will take more effort, but with that effort, you're gonna actually make it work and get it done. Okay. Watch your health and self-worth at work. Okay, so you might be dealing with people in the workplace that make you feel a bit less. Just make sure that you stand up for yourself, because sometimes you will be tested, and this sun and Jupiter is very large, right? And it is in a trine with your ascendant, so you're gonna have this very big energy, very creative time, especially communication wise. If you're in sales or a teacher, you're going to really captivate people's attention. If you're a vlogger, blogger, these kind of things, very good time. Okay, I'm getting animals. So, when you see this animal like keep coming, or like strange animals, you can look up the meaning when that happens to you. Or sometimes you can just like close your eyes and the animal that is being shown to you has a message for you. So you can look that up, the spiritual meaning of that animal on Google. So let me know in the comments if you're doing that, like what animal are you seeing? And how is that resonating with your life? Because usually we see this image of an animal and it always gives you the message that you need to hear. For some of you, it's literally that animals are going to be very healing for you. Maybe you want to have an animal and you're going to have a very strong connection with it, right? Wounded healer. So it could be that you're so worried about your animal, but at the same time, you love it a lot. So we have healer. Okay. So some of you are conscious healers and some of you are unconscious healers, right? We have people with a very healing presence and they have no idea that they are just Buddhas. They are just living their life. And then there are people that are more conscious healers. I know that I'm talking to some of you that are conscious healers. It's a wonderful time, especially if you're doing anything that motivates people, because Leo is the motivator. And Sagittarius, you are ruled by Jupiter. So it's in its own house. So you have this wisdom and expansion. You have so much to tell this year, so much to share, which is going to help and heal a lot of people. So, yeah, that would be my message for you. I would love to hear in the comments what your plans are, what your ideas are. And also subscribe to my channel to help me expand it. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, let's go to Capricorn. So Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Jupiter just went into your eighth house. Eighth house is income through other sources, insurance, taxes, inheritance, things like that could be coming your way. This could also be a good year for investment. Okay. Now, when it comes to July specifically, we do have Mercury retrograde up until the 23rd of July. So this time not the best to start a new investment, but you could get rewards from investments that you've done before. Okay, could be coming back and giving you money, or something you've done before is giving you money. So we have this new moon in Cancer, right, in your opposite sign in the seventh house. Now we have Mercury retrograde there, so there could be some nostalgia, like things you're going over with your partner, like remember this time, reconnecting with family. So going to either your partner's family and just having this kind of deep conversations. Cancer is ruled by the moon, okay? Especially Cancer or Capricorn rising, you are very often attracting a partner that's a little bit more nurturing, okay, or that's what you're attracted to. So yeah, it could be that someone from the past might be coming back wanting to talk with you. It's not always that doesn't work, right? We also have Venus with the South Node. So it might be someone that is overseas, or someone that you've dated before. And there might be a conversation that needs to be held to heal that, or to continue that relationship. That really depends on the karma. There are definitely a lot of past life relationships that can work out. So don't be afraid. When Venus is with the South Node, I have this in my natal chart, and Jupiter. And yeah, you can end up with a partner that comes from a past life, okay, that you have a connection with. And sometimes that is not so good karma, and sometimes that is very good karma. So you will know when you meet that person. So going back to a place you traveled before, that might very well be happening right now, a vacation, right? And Virgo is about nature. So maybe you want to visit a place with a lot of nature. Maybe you want to go somewhere to study something, right? To study a certain subject, or it could be a sudden trip for work because Venus is in a square with Uranus. Now, between the 1st and the 13th of July, there's a little bit of a watch out because Mars is in a conjunction with Uranus. So there might be some difficulty at work, miscommunication. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is retrograde. Uranus and Mars together can be a bit explosive. So difficulty with colleagues, difficulty with work, and especially watch out between exclamation mark Capricorn, watch out with workouts. Ground yourself well. Don't do your workout when you're super angry and you're a bit out of body. Put yourself in your body, because we're talking about an air sign here, okay? And that can create injuries. So be very careful, be very gentle with yourself. And if there's anything with your health, go to a doctor, okay? Very, very important. We have this full moon in Aquarius. Now, obviously, for your money, this is a very good time. We have the sun now in a conjunction with Jupiter in the 8th house. Pluto is in the 2nd house. So anything suppressed, repressed, anything hidden in the underworld, right? So too good to be true situations. So watch out for money scams, things that look so amazing and then turn out not to be that amazing. This is also about give and take of money. So let money flow. Always it helps when you give away some money to like either a charity or something, and it will flow like that. It will keep flowing. Money goes out, money comes back. Breaking free of certain belief systems around money, okay? Because the moon is there in Aquarius. Aquarius likes to break free. So maybe you want to see things from a different perspective now. Like money just comes at the right time. Like money is serving me. Money is good to me, okay? So we don't have to hold on to it. It just always flows, and it's always free flowing, and If you're already doing that, don't worry, then this message is not for you. But yeah, Pluto just brings up what is hidden in the underworld. If nothing is there, there's nothing to be exposed, right? So we have Neptune and Saturn now retrograde in the 4th house. So this is definitely a time where you're going to reconnect with your roots and see where you feel like you went out of your authenticity. So now it's time to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your identity. And, even though maybe a family situation could be difficult, it's about getting to know yourself through that transformation, through that situation. And some of you need to take care of a family member, even, or, if you're moving as well, it could be a long process. Okay. It's not really a good time for a move, but if you have to, it will be a bit longer process. Chiron is in the 5th house. So you are healing your inner child right now. So true creative expression. Yeah, and especially with the 8th house, right? If you also have a job in accountancy or insurance, or you're a doctor, you're in the medical field, you're in the occult, you're going to see a lot of success around that time. Getting flowers. So maybe get yourself some flowers, Capricorn. Different colors, infinite abundance. Like I said, there is a chance of getting a lot of money your way. And also just feeling abundant, because sometimes it's not always money that fulfills us, right? It's sometimes the feeling of being abundant. And even though if there's not a lot, there's just always enough. And letting it flow that way. Talk to your angels. So if there's any worries or any things that you are having questions about, do some meditation. You have everything in the 8th house. This is a beautiful time for healing the inner child. And any questions you have, dive into them. If either through the occult or therapy, hypnosis, you can remove a lot of layers that can be turned into creativity right now. That can be turned into new ideas, innovations, and that can also lead to more money. Okay, so that would be my message for you, my amazing Capricorn. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you're going through, how you're experiencing everything so far, what your plans are. Also subscribe to my channel to help me expand this, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Aquarius. So Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For you, we have now Jupiter in Leo in your 7th house. So this is the house of committed relationship, romantic relationships, business partnerships, and one-on-one relationships with, with people, with clients. Anything legal as well, right, is going to be quite good for you. It's going to be on your side, so to speak. So attracting new love, definitely. Though between the 1st and 13th of July, okay, we have Mars in a conjunction with Uranus, so there might be some conflict there. And also be very careful with your children. There might be some fight or disconnect with your partner, with your children, okay? A little bit of miscommunication. So Jupiter is going to be in Leo for the whole year, right? So don't worry, it's gonna settle down just the beginning of July, because it's in Gemini. These two planets together are quite intense. Mercury is retrograde, is the ruler of these two planets, which is in the 6th house. So, there could be some tension at work, and it's expressed to children, and, try to meditate around this time. Okay, good things are about to shift. So this is, to me, a very transformative month that is going to change everything. So dare to go into these uncomfortable feelings, because it's going to lead into something you didn't think that could happen. Okay, because the south node is with Venus in the 8th house, so letting go of old patterns in love, old belief systems, because sometimes we bring these belief systems into the next relationship, and that person is not like that at all, right? and we are becoming possessive or jealous, or the other person becomes like that, right? We should judge someone blank. And if we're still in the same pattern, which is going to be shown through their actions should match people's words. This is in relationships, this is with everything, okay? Like, only way you can judge someone is through their actions, okay? If their actions don't match their words, then here you go, you have your answer. So yeah, maybe something even has to go, new thing has to arrive, okay? Some of you are gonna go back to a client from the past, work from the past, okay? Also a diet that you've picking up a diet again. So listen to your feeling about your body, your diet, like what is your body needing right now, okay? Yeah, Venus conjunct the South Node in the 8th house can also be money coming in through past investments, okay? This is like kind of the money that you don't see coming. It just comes out of nowhere and you're like, what? So when you're not attached, it will come. This is how the South Node Venus works, okay? When you're not hooked to a certain expectation, then suddenly there it is. So we have a full moon in your sign actually on the 29th of July, and it's going to be in your first house. So, you know, when it's with the moon, you are definitely ready to break free from a certain situation, from a certain pattern that you're ready to release. I'm ready to release that. And boom, there you go. The right person could be right there for you by the end of the month with the Sun and Jupiter. Okay. Just don't fall for big egos, because that's the shadow side of Leo energy with the Sun and Jupiter, is that, you know, you might be interested in someone that has a really big ego. So you need someone that is connected to their heart. Leo's highest form and shape is true passion through the heart and not necessarily through the ego. Okay. And you can only know that if you get to know someone. So take your time, because it's an intense energy and it feels like so lovey dovey, everything. But take your time. And if you're already in a committed relationship, this could be, you know, maybe a talk about more commitment, marriage, engagement. So when you change your perspective, then, you know, things will shift around you as well. And also expectations about what a partner should look like or be like. Sometimes the universe knows so well what is good for you that you didn't expect things to turn out the way they do. Okay. So Mercury in the 6th house is in a square with Saturn in the 3rd. So prepare yourself if you need to do anything communicative in the workplace, okay? Because Saturn is retrograde, Neptune is retrograde, so there might be some, you know, difficulty in expressing yourself. But if you prepare well, you're not gonna, you know, deal with that as much. Getting writing. So write things down. Maybe you have an agenda, write things down so you remember, you know, you're more prepared for your meetings, because it might be that you're a little bit more forgetful about your, you know, day-to-day life. So Chiron is in the 4th house there. Woundings regarding self-esteem might be coming up, that maybe come from, you know, your family or your home place. Maybe you're afraid to lose your home. There's suddenly this anxiety coming up, okay? Doing some gardening will definitely help with that. Energy healing. So some of you are doing a lot of energy healing, you know, with Pluto in the 1st house. The best thing to do is transform. Okay. And talking from someone who has Pluto, I have Pluto on the ascendant in my natal chart. My life has been full of transformation, and going through those transformations, helping you understand yourself and, you know, the good side of life, but also maybe the less good things in life. But when we see that, we can really help others. So when you transform yourself, you can transform others. So I know that some of you are healers that are watching, or speakers. Speaking up also about a situation is going to be very good. But definitely, this is the year of love. This is the year of transformation. And maybe your relationship will make you change completely, make you see things from a completely different perspective. So allow that to happen. That would be my message for you, my amazing Aquarius. Please let me know in the comments what you're going through. Yeah, I would love to know about your life, and also subscribe to my channel so you help me expand my messages as well. So thank you so much. And until next time, let's move on to Pisces. So Pisces, Sun and Rising, Jupiter is now in your 6th house. So this is very good for work. So if you're looking for a new job, though, we still have Mercury retrograde up until the 23rd. So the best timing would literally be by the end of the month when the Sun is aligning with Jupiter after the 22nd of July. Okay, so you can already look for jobs, but to sign the contract a little bit later would be better. But this whole year is about work. This is about looking at diet, maybe because it's in a fire sign, or maybe you're getting really excited to, especially when it's in Leo. This is great for dancing, fun, enjoying your routines, having a good relationship with your colleagues. And in July, we're starting off with Cancer season, which is in your 5th house. Okay, this new moon in Cancer at 21 degrees is in the 5th house. And, this is all about connecting with your inner child, maybe going back to the past and seeing, what went well, what didn't you like, because Uranus is with Mars in the 4th house. So you might become a little bit angry with your family between these days, okay, 1st and 13th, because Uranus is unexpected. Mars can be aggression, right? Also action. And it's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is retrograde Cancer. So there might be definitely a little bit of misunderstanding, or you're angry at your parents. Maybe angry at, contractors that are not doing the housing very well. Yeah. Watch out with accidents with the house, okay? Like if people are working on your house, double check everything. And then you have a reason to be angry, though. Then please do stand for yourself. But in general, if you're very angry with family, try to talk with them after at least the 13th. Okay, even with a move, it's not really the time to move. And some people, you're gonna get angry and want to move out from a landlord, or a house, or some situation that could happen. The South Node is with Venus in the 7th house. So it could be that you're meeting someone from the past, because we have the new moon in the 5th house, Mercury retrograde. So meeting someone from the past, and doesn't mean that can work out. Okay, there are definitely situations when the South Node Venus and Mercury retrograde in the 5th, you're just catching up with someone from the past, and you can get together and you're going to stay together, or it's just a discussion and closing something. Okay, something unresolved that needs some type of closure. We have this full moon in Aquarius on the 29th of July in your 12th house. Okay, so this is a time for you to introspect. Also make sure to have some rest, because Jupiter is conjunct the Sun. A lot of work might be coming in. So a lot of clients, a lot of good things. And you can easily handle that because Jupiter is quite enthusiastic, right? But you also don't need to overestimate things, because Sun, Jupiter, and Leo can overestimate how much you can do. So you also need some rest and good sleep, because maybe you're up at night and not being able to sleep, Pisces. Good time for it could be that you will realize that some females in your life didn't have the best at heart for you, but those will be revealed around this time. If there's no one to be revealed, it will not be, okay? Because the 12th house is the house of hidden enemies. So if there's anything, it will be revealed around this time, or you start to feel uncomfortable, because your feelings and your emotions are your guidance, right? And there are sometimes people that are so nice to us, but we have this subconscious feeling that something is off, and we really have to listen to that. Okay, so a lot of new opportunities in work. We have Neptune and Saturn retrograde now, so be a little careful with your spending. It's not a time to overspend. It's time to really watch the budget a little bit more. And maybe you have to work harder to earn money, but hard work is rewarded by Saturn. Okay. And some people say, no, that's not true. That doesn't happen that way. But Saturn has a specific agenda. It's like the tough parent. So it has to be a certain way. And then, yes, it will give you results. Okay. Chiron is now in the third house. So maybe you're afraid speaking up, or you're becoming more conscious about your speech. But for others, your speech can be extremely healing. Okay. So don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Look at that. There's many options for you, especially work related. There's so many options. We have Mercury in the fifth house in a square with Saturn for most of the month in the second house. Okay, so there could be some difficulty with the money and your partner, or money and your children. But you got to trust. Listen to your emotions, listen to your feelings. They're going to indicate, what are your next steps. Especially also in Cancer season, it's a great time for creativity for you, to work on this inner child. And maybe there are some things you have to kind of let go and see how they happen, see how it comes your way, right? So that would be my message for you, my amazing Pisces. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments what your plans are for July, what you're up to. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you support me in expanding this channel. And I'll wish you all the best. And until next time, thank you so much.